What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. And today's topic, I'm going to be talking about the 10 things that I really hate about my system. So everything is a learning curve, and I'm not different. I'm a novice. I'm just learning. And I just came up with a list. I have it right here of the 10 things that I really hate about my system. I'm going to show you guys, and they're not in a specific order. Hopefully in the future, hopefully it's not a very distant future, I will be able to modify all these little things. Well, they're not that little, they're actually pretty big, and they make most of the headaches that I have with my system. All right, guys, so hopefully you can enjoy it and learn from my mistakes. Number one, the first thing that I hate about my system is the small space that I have for equipment. As you can see, I'm packed. I have no more room to put anything else. I would like to have different pieces of equipment. For instance, I would like to have a UV sterilizer. I don't have the space for it. I would like to have a calcium reactor. I don't have a space for it. So that's the first thing that I hate about my system, the small space that I have. The second thing that I hate about my system is the DIY stand. Don't get me wrong, I did a pretty good job when I built this thing. This was my first DIY stand that I made. It's made out of 2x4s and some plywood. The problem with that is the wood takes a lot of space, and as you can see from before, if I open this right here, the space is pretty limited, especially with these supports. Those are the main supports for the system. So if I would like to have more space, that means I have to build a bigger stand, more wood for a bigger space, which is not really a good idea. All right, guys, so number three is the way the tank is set up. So my system is a classic 120, which means is 4 feet long by 2 feet high by 2 feet wide. Nothing wrong with that. The only problem, downside that I see is I have only 3 view sides, as you can tell. Front, side, and side. Okay, so I'm wasting the whole back of my system. When I first got the tank, I didn't saw that's a problem, but right now, and like the years of experience that I have with this, I do see it as a problem because I want more real estate for my coral, and the whole back is completely wasted. Not, I don't see what's going on behind it, and there is some room in there that I could put more coral, but I can't. Okay, so moving to number 4 is the overflow boxes. So once again, my system, my tank is a classic 120, it's an old school 120. And those tower overflow boxes used to be very common back in the day. When I got the system, the shadow overflow boxes were very new still, and unfortunately I didn't have the money to buy one of those systems. Thinking about that, I am regretting that very much, because these towers, even though I have done a lot to make them look natural, to make them look that I like them, I don't like them. They steal a lot of space from my tank, and yeah, that is it. I mean, the space that they take, a lot of coral could be sitting right there. So that's number 4. All right, moving to number 5. Things that I hate about my system is the overall height of the system. So as you can see, my stand is a DIY and the tank is 24 inches high. The tank is pretty high. It's almost, I will say almost 6 feet high from the floor all the way to the very edge of the tank. That it has two things. Number one, the viewing display is a lot better. I don't complain about that. But the bad part about it is when it comes to cleaning or do maintenance inside the tank, working with the coral, that's the problem. I have to use a step ladder to get inside there, and it's a really a nightmare. So I don't like the overall height of the tank. Number 6 is the middle plastic section of my tank. I really hate that piece. When I'm cleaning the tank or when I'm working inside the tank, that thing is always in against me. The plastic middle, I believe, it was made for support. I don't think it's necessary. Some people took it out of systems like mine, but I decided just to keep it just for safety. I mean, that was number 6. That plastic section right there, I really hate it. So number 7 is that my tank is only 4 feet long. I wish it was at least 7 or 8 feet. 4 feet is very small. It's so much that I can put there. So not that many fish that I can put in a system like this. Yes, that is number 7. The length of my tank only being 4 feet. Number 8. The Sump. Why do I hate the Sump? Even though I made it work, it's currently holding all the equipment that I needed. It's not big enough for my system or for my preference. I wish that the Sump was a lot bigger in order to accommodate bigger pieces of equipment, more equipment, or a large refugium. The Sump is a 40-gallon breeder, as you can see, and right now is packed. It's very little that I can do if I would like to add anything else in here. Okay, that's number 8. Number 9 is the plumbing. I have to be very proud of it. It's my first plumbing job that I ever did. But why do I hate it? Well, it's I wish it was more not in my face, but like a lot cleaner, I will say. Why? Because if I'm working with cables, if I'm working with anything else, those pieces of plumbing are right in front of me and they are a pain. That is number 9, the plumbing. And number 10, finally, is the wiring management. Now, this wiring management is, I will say, wiring management version 3, yes. So this is my best wiring management yet. The reason that I hate it is, as you can see, if I want to remove or take anything out, is right, you see right there? It's better than before, I will say, but I wish it was like a lot cleaner. It's not a rat nest. It looks like a rat nest, but it's not. It's a video about this. Everything is labeled. I know where everything is at. If I would like to remove it, it's a pain in the ass, but I'm able to do it. So why I hate it? Because it's in the back of the tank. I wish it was like easier to access. It's not very easy to access. So that's a huge reason to hate it. The control panel is not that bad. I already showed this in a video before. It's clean. Everything is there. It's labeled. So that's not the problem. The problem is the main wiring that goes from the control panel to all the components. All right, guys. Well, those were the things that I really hate about my tank. So I want to conclude by saying that the hobby is a learning process. Reefing is learning. If you are like very committed to it, you will understand that as you go, you will learn more and more about your system, and eventually you will create your perfect system. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of failures in order to accomplish something like that. And sometimes I see people that have these crazy systems, and like in my own eyes, I will say like, damn, they already reached that thing that I want. Okay, so I just want to say, learn from your mistakes. And even though it seems that I'm whining about my system, and if you're watching the video, you might say, why this guy is complaining about the system? I mean, this guy, if he doesn't like it, he shouldn't buy or get the stuff that he has at the moment. And it's not that. Why am I complaining is because I want a bigger system. I want to upgrade. So I'm seeing the details, the things that I need to create to for in a future. I would like to modify or have all those things that I really hate right now. I want to have them all perfectly. Probably I'm going to end up getting with more things that I hate in my future system. But that's how the hobby goes. So if you are in the long run for it, you really know how this is. Alright guys, so that concludes my video. That concludes the 10 things that I hate about my system. And if you made it this far into the video, I want to say thank you. I want to really thank you guys. My small channel is growing little by little. It's not a big thing, but everyone that is supporting me, that is following me, I want to really thank you. I never thought that I will have like at least like one follower, but it seems some people like my stuff, so I appreciate that. That really makes me keep going, like improve into my video skills, because that's what YouTube is. If you have a lot of knowledge about your stuff and your video skills are not that good, yeah, then you know. But everything is learning, and I'm into it. I'm learning, and I wanna bring a lot of new content, stuff that people really like. So if you are into reefing and you want to learn, or maybe see what I do, maybe you want to replicate that, follow me. Thank you everybody that is watching my videos, that is following me. I really appreciate it. I learn a lot from YouTube. Back in the day when I first got my little system, and now that I have this, now that I'm doing YouTube again, it's like a way of me giving back, because I used to watch a lot of people struggling, and like I struggle a lot, and with the first tank. So if somebody is watching this and I can help in anyhow, then that means it's working. So once again, guys, thank you so much for your support. You are great, and hopefully I can see you in the future. Thank you.